Welcome back to another daily video. Today I'm down at Keffer KIA and behind me is a 2020 Kia Soul. Huge thanks to them for providing this car for me today. This is one of the first 2020 Kia Souls that they have on the lot, so definitely check out their inventory. I'll have a link to their website down in the description below. The model that we're looking at today is the top trim level. It's the GT line, finished off in cherry black with an MSRP just under $24,000. Under the hood is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. This can be paired to either a 6-speed manual in the base models or the CVT transmission in all the other models. A 1.6-liter twin-scroll turbocharged engine is also available. This engine produces 147 horsepower at 6,200 RPM and 132 pound-feet of torque at 4,500 RPM. It is front-wheel drive, weighs between 2,800 and 3,000 pounds depending on which engine option you go with, and with a fuel capacity of 14.3 gallons, you can expect the MPG to be 27 in the city and 33 on the highway. The wheelbase measures 102.4 inches. It has an overall length of 165.2. The width is 62 inches, it has a height of 63 inches, and ground clearance has been improved from 5.8 to 6.7 inches. Starting up front with the massive lower grille, it has a really cool intricate pattern running throughout it, along with having brushed aluminum trim pieces both on the upper and lower section. There's a nice red trim piece on the very bottom of the grille, along with GT line written out on the right side. The LED fog lights are nicely integrated into each side of the grille, along with the LED headlights which are placed on each side of the bumper. Right in the center we have some cutouts to provide even more cooling to the engine, and then working our way up top, this has LED daytime running lights along with the turn signals right in the middle and more of that brushed aluminum trim piece connecting the two. Moving to the side, this features the upgraded 18-inch wheels that have a nice double 5-spoke design to them, along with having a two-tone finish. 4-wheel disc brakes are in all 4 corners. This also has the integrated turn signals in the body-colored side mirrors, along with a nice red stripe running down the lower section of the door. Again, that's part of the GT line package. There's also red around the center wheel caps. Soul is written out on the back side of the C-pillar, and you can see there's very clean lines that run down the side of the vehicle. Moving up to the roof of the car, it also features a sunroof. And finishing up in the rear with a continuous strip connecting the LED taillights to the third brake light mounted on the top side of the rear glass. It gives the rear of the vehicle a very clean look with unbroken lines going from the taillight all the way around the top of the vehicle and back to the other side. The wiper blade is mounted on the lower side of the window to help improve visibility. You can see the Kia badge right in the center has a nice bulge to give it even more of an aggressive look. GT line is written out to the right side, you have Soul on the left side. This also has a backup camera and rear fog lights. So that finishes up the exterior walk around on the 2020 Kia Soul. Comment down below, what do you guys think of this car? I like the fact that there are several trim options that you can go with. You can have 2 different engine options, 2 different transmission options, and I think with the GT, it just gives it a really nice look with all of the red trim pieces, and especially the front grille here is a lot more aggressive than some of the other trim levels available. But overall, I think it's a really clean looking vehicle, especially in black here with the red accents, which really pop against this color. Has a really nice wheel design to it. But now with the key, we'll go ahead and check out a more in-depth view of the interior. On the key fob itself, all of the buttons are on the side. You have lock, unlock, and your button for the rear liftgate. And as long as I have the key on me, I'll just push this button on the back of the door. It will automatically unlock. The door panel is finished off in black. On the grab handle, there's a nice cutout giving it a cool design. There's also more brushed aluminum trim surrounding this entire section. You have all the side window controls behind these side mirror controls. The release handle is finished off in more brushed aluminum with a nice intricate pattern in front of that. This also has a 6-speaker audio sound system and a little bit of storage space behind that. Moving inside now to the 2-tone cloth seats. They have silver stitching running down each side to match the inserts. Pretty good bolstering support to them as well. They are manual adjusting with a 6-way adjustability along with lumbar support. Once inside, we're greeted with a fully wrapped black leather steering wheel. There's black stitching running along the inside. Has a really nice feel to it as well. Flat bottom design to it with the GT line badge and more brushed aluminum. On the right side is all of the cruise control buttons. To the left you have your voice commands, your Bluetooth controls, along with mode and being able to adjust the volume for the radio. Looking at the gauge setup now, you can see the tach and engine temperature are to the left side. Your speedometer and fuel gauge are on the right. Using one of the buttons on the right side of the steering wheel, we'll scroll through a couple different things on the digital screen that you can see in the middle. Currently it's showing the odometer and temperature on the bottom. You have miles until empty on the top side. And then just using that button, we can scroll through fuel economy, along with 2 different screens for your trip, your average MPG and the distance traveled, along with your miles per hour and the digital screen. To the left of the steering wheel, you can turn on and off traction control, along with the engine start-stop feature. You have blind spot monitoring, your lane keeping assist, and being able to control the brightness on the gauges. There's more brushed aluminum around 1 speaker and 1 air vent. There's 1 more speaker up in the center, and then moving below that is the 7-inch touchscreen display screen. On the left side of the screen, you have radio and media, along with your seek and track for the radio. Power and volume is down below on the left side. To the right, we have home, which is the screen that you see right now. You have your different menus, along with app information and setup. You can also get into those by clicking the star and setup button to the far right. But this is touchscreen, of course, so we can just go into it there. You can see your phone and radio. You have your setup and your voice memo, so you can configure your voice commands. Going into setup now, you have your sound, your display, and Bluetooth, along with the date and time, your home screen, your screensaver, along with advanced settings that you can go into for custom modes, so your phone projection, your menu, Bluetooth, and things like that. You can also set which buttons on the steering wheel will pull up FM, AM, your iPod, different music like that, along with being able to change your media notifications, along with your rear camera option. You can turn this on. Below that center screen, we have the hazard button, along with all the AC controls. So you have the temperature on the far left, fan speed is right in the center, and then where you'd like the air to go is on the far right. All of the recirc buttons are around the middle there. A little bit of storage space on the top side. This is also a wireless charging port. Beneath that, there are 2 12 volts, along with a USB in the middle, and then even more storage space below that. Behind that is the engine start-stop button, and then moving to the shifter, it's covered in leather with more brushed aluminum beneath it. Pulling the trigger on the left side, we can go ahead and put it into reverse. You'll see the backup camera light up with the lines available, and they do turn with the steering wheel as well. To the left of that is the drive mode selector. There's 2 modes. We have normal and sport, and you can see that change in the digital screen there. In the center, there's 2 cup holders, along with the manual parking brake. Looking at the center console now, there's definitely plenty of storage room. And then moving over to the glove box, you have even more storage space down there. We'll take one last look at the interior here with the 2-tone cloth seats. This model does offer the sunroof. All of those controls are up in the center, of course. You have a sunglass holder and then the dome light switches as well. Now we'll move on to the rear seating, and the door panels finished off just like up front. This is a 5-seater vehicle, so let's go ahead and hop in. Talking about legroom now, I have the front seat set at my height, 5'10". You can see my shoes are underneath the seat, and I have about 3 or 4 inches in front of my knees. And then headroom, I have about 4 or 5 inches as well. So there's definitely plenty of room in the back seats here. It doesn't feel claustrophobic or anything. You have a lot of visibility out of that rear glass, and then I like the fact that there's 2 side windows as well. These seats also have a 60-40 split to them, so just by pulling on the handle on the driver's side seat, we can go ahead and fold that down, and you can see just how much more room you have into the trunk. Now looking at the rear trunk storage space, we're just gonna go up underneath by the rear backup camera there, go ahead and open up the lift gate. This has about 24 cubic feet of storage space with the back seats up, and it goes to 62 cubic feet of storage space with them folded down. So you definitely have plenty of room in the back seats here. Up underneath, you have the spare tire and even some more storage space for anything that you need to hide down there. So there's quite a lot of space for a compact vehicle, and then up on the liftgate, there is one grab handle to close it up. All right, so getting the 2020 Kia Soul out on the road now. The first thing that I'm gonna go over is the general visibility. For a pretty boxy vehicle, but also being small at the same time, it's actually really easy to see all around. I like how thin the A-pillars are, so that makes forward-facing visibility very easy on either side. You have your side mirrors too, which aren't too large either, so that makes it really easy, again, to see around them. And then looking over your left and right shoulder, I like the fact that there's that second piece of glass that I showed earlier in the back seats. It makes the C-pillars seem not as bulky. Moving on to the overall comfort, I've put a couple miles on this car so far, and I really like how it rides. It's absorbing bumps very well. The seating position is super comfortable. You have a couple different adjustments that you can make on it. With the cloth configuration, they have pretty aggressive bolstering to them. I like the leather on the steering wheel, has a really comfortable feel to it. And then overall, the ride quality has just been very comfortable, so I could easily see this being a good daily driver. At the same time, it's not very loud on the inside either. It's very well insulated, and hopefully you guys can see those bumps that I just went over. I hardly felt those, so it's absorbing them very well. But again, on the inside, very quiet. You can hardly hear any wind noise or tire noise, anything like that. Super comfortable to be in, and reduced wind noise makes it even more comfortable to drive. So we're gonna test the acceleration in the new Soul. I'm just in the normal mode right now, just giving it a little bit of gas. Nothing crazy. Seems to get up and move. It's not a quick accelerating vehicle, but it will definitely get up to speed. You don't have to worry about it being underpowered, I don't think. But just using the drive mode button, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into sport mode. We'll see if there's any difference here. It seems about the same. It lets the car kind of rev a little bit higher. I did notice that. And I was giving it about the same amount of throttle response as well. So I think that just makes it rev a little bit higher. This car also has a lot of standard safety features across all of the trim levels, and those include forward and rear collision, lane departure assist, blind spot monitoring. You have the backup camera. All of those you can turn on and off, as I showed to the left of the steering wheel there. Moving on to all of the interior materials now and the whole configuration and layout. I think everything is really nice and positioned well. And this has a leather wrap steering wheel, has really good notches on both sides, so it has a comfortable positioning to it. But moving to the center now, I like the center screen. Everything is laid out well. You have actual buttons to the left and the right of the screen, so you don't have to worry about going into the screen itself. So really there's a very minimal setup of buttons on the interior. It gives it a really clean look. And again, it doesn't clutter everything on the inside there. And you have a decent amount of storage space down in the front of the shifter. So I really like how everything is laid out. I like the fact too, and I mentioned this earlier, there's two different transmission options along with two different engine options. If you go with the 1.6 liter twin scroll turbo engine, you'll get 201 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. So you have the option to go with that engine. You can get a 6-speed manual only offered in the base trim level along with the 2-liter engine. So you can configure this Soul however you'd like. There's so many different options. I'm actually pretty surprised with the overall interior space that you have. While this isn't a large vehicle, there's no third row, you can put 3 people in the back there, and I think they'd fit pretty comfortably, and you still have plenty of storage space behind them even with those seats up. And then folding them down, as you saw, definitely plenty of room. So I think that about wraps up my walk around review and test drive in the 2020 Kia Soul GT line. Huge thanks again to Keffer Kia for providing this vehicle for me today. I will have all their information down in the description below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you next video.